Don't cry.
Glad to be here.
We're going to talk about we're going to talk about growing up on a farm. What it was like for Jeff and I, even though these two girls also grew up on a farm that I used to have, a horse farm. But Jeff and I, we grew up on a farm in Rocky Ridge, Maryland, close to Mater Station in Rocky Ridge.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of things happened on that farm.
A lot of good things, some not so good, but mostly good. Yeah.
I was thinking today about this subject, and I was thinking about talking about it. And remember the place behind? There was a place we had behind the house, kind of in the
Battlegrounds.
It was Battlegrounds.
Yep.
And it was for some reason, Dad, he let the state highway or county when they were redoing the roads, and they had these dump trucks of dirt that they needed to empty, and he let them bring them in and dump them there. So we had this area.
Yeah. Oh, it was
all these piles of dirt. And
maybe not quite an acre, but
getting close.
Now, for the viewers, were there only two of you?
oh no,
no, shit, no.
no.
We invited neighbors over to kill and.
No, I mean like you're two of seven.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Seven siblings in the family. There were 3 girls, 4 boys, and it went Becky, she was the oldest, then Ralph, he was our older brother, Mary Ann was our older sister, and then Tom,
Quintessential middle.
and then me. I broke the tie. Girls didn't like that. And then Uncle Steve, our brother Steve, came along. And then years later, our youngest sister Angie. So there were 7 siblings in the family.
Yeah.
But we 4 boys, really, were the ones that did everything in the Battleground.
Oh yeah, the girls never came out. It was like trying to get the girls to come down to the barn to work on the show steers. That shit
Started fights today.
that didn't exist.
It's like they think they're not going to
Anyhow.
watch it, or that they're not going to put on.
Anyhow, we had this place called Battleground, and we would go back there. We would dig forts and foxholes and tunnels, and that's when we learned about how to make sure you shore up your tunnel or it collapses on you and you die of suffocation.
Yeah.
And I thought, in today's world with the kids on their phones all the time, they couldn't even get the hell out of bed, let alone walk out and build something.
Well, I don't want to put it on all of them.
Yeah,
I
I was
would.
gonna say your grandchildren literally were outside hunting zombies. I have spears in my yard right now that
That
I
is
woke up
true.
in the morning thinking,
Right.
what in the world happened out there? There was a zombie fight.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
But things like that.
I mean,
we
it
did.
is different, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
completely
definitely
different.
different.
And I
Brush them
also
off.
guarantee you that your father or grandfather was like, these kids today, they've got all these newfangled toys with cannons that blow up.
Oh, they were fun.
You know what I mean? Like I guarantee you Pat Keilholtz was like, these kids today.
I mean, I guess every generation has. It's just this. I'm not even getting into this generation because it disgusts me. So we'll just keep on going with going.
Well,
on.
now hold up there, Tom. Why would it disgust you?
Go to any store, restaurant, and it's not necessarily teen. Go to any place like that and watch a table of 4 or 6 people, younger adults sitting there, and they're all on their phones. They're not talking to each other. Nobody talks to each other anymore. They'll actually text each other across the table. I've seen that shit happen.
I feel like this happened one time, and Dad is like now, like every single table I'm around ever. This is what's going on, and it's like
Did they ask for my opinion, or was I just hearing things?
I mean, we didn't.
Well, no, this is a forum now.
Yeah.
It's a discussion
Yeah, I mean,
group.
I honestly wanted to cut myself out of the whole thing.
Yeah, we were ready to be on that end of the camera.
You brought us back. There's my opinion.
There you
Broad
go.
brushing it.
But I mean,
okay.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Everything that we did on the farm.
Yeah.
From battlegrounds to saddling up the ponies to chasing each other through the woods, from all those things.
Yeah.
Do you think for 1 minute that you could take the kids of this generation and say, take their things away, take their phones away,
If
take
you give them
everything,
ponies
take
and
everything that the
saddles and a
parents
whole
use to
farm.
babysit them, say, nope, can't do that, and let them to go do something.
I think yes.
I
Yeah.
ask him the
Sorry.
question.
Go ahead.
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough.
No.
It's all about the environment in which you grow up. It is. And if you took those things away, if they didn't have them, they wouldn't know any better. And I bet they would do it.
They have to do it.
Even if they had them, I think if you give them a farm and horses and saddles and water guns and dirt mounds, I would also say they would do as well.
Yeah,
Nope,
and
not
freedom.
until you take the phones.
Well, I think the thing is like the freedom. Like I think that the kids really would love nothing more than for parents, and I would include myself. I won't throw rocks at any stones at anyone else, but I get a bit hovery over the kids. We don't quite free range chicken our kids the way
It's
you
not the
let
80s.
us free range. I mean, she got kicked in the face by a horse.
She got kicked in the face by a horse because she was walked in when a place she should not have been. They were sent up to the barn to feed the horses in the morning, which they've did every when they were
just
there.
saying,
I mean, wait a minute.
That
Do you
affects
remember?
decision making. That's why I
What,
hover.
the
I
morning
mean,
that
I was
Katie
all
got
of-
kicked?
No.
I was all of 2 months past 5 years old. Of course, I should be responsible for going to feed the
Why are you
horses.
feeding horses?
She wasn't. She was actually watching you feed horses.
I do know that. Listen, and I
She just meandered along.
I'm just saying that, like, I think some of it's parents, and I think it's not only like what we saw. Like, we were definitely much more free range chickens than our like we hover more. But I think like our children are dying. Like my children are dying to have me get away from them so they could go throw spears in the yard. Like that happened under the cover of darkness. That those spears are in the yard. Because if I would have seen it, I would have been like, no. So I don't think it's necessarily the kids or the technology.
But
It's probably a combination. Could be.
Probably, and you're, like you said, the environment, whatever. It's
Sure.
just,
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, kids that grow up in Wyoming are probably a
Doing
little
that?
different than those that grow up in Maryland.
I guarantee you that.
Okay.
I guess it's where you grow up.
Yeah, but I'll say this about the farm. I didn't have, when we lived there, I was young, but I didn't have as much appreciation for it as I should have. Because getting older, man, it was so good, honestly, to grow up on a farm. And I concentrated on, oh my God, we got to clean these stables out, or we got to, summertime, bale hay, but to grow up on a farm and to understand how cattle are born, crops are grown and harvested, that was so cool to see that evolution of everything.
The education we were getting on the farm.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually saw from the point where you grow it, you feed the cattle, and it goes full circle.
Yeah.
And, we also had steers and show steers. We were in 4-H, and, when you sell them, they get slaughtered, and which brings back a real memory for me. And then it appears on your table, and that's the full cycle of life.
Yeah.
And that's what we learned. Yeah.
You also
Yeah.
had a whole group of nuns praying for your livestock.
Well, that's only because our oldest brother Ralph named his steer Aloysius after Sister Mary Aloysius.
He was his
Because he
8th
really-
grade teacher.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And she had a time with him and he had a time with her.
And wound up. He wound up winning grand champion with the steer at the
Yeah.
county fair.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah.
all the sisters of charity that worked at Mother Seton School packed into a van and went down to Frederick Fair and visited the steer named Aloysius. And from that point on, Ralph was one of the favorites in her heart. But I'll tell you,
boy.
Really? Yeah. Wasn't he handcuffed to her?
that's when in another grade. Yes.
Yeah, I
No,
think he was a little younger then.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
like
so
third. That
maybe-
was like third grade. And then she.
Maybe she thought like, this is my little show steer. Look what I did to him. I broke him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he did get
I don't,
handcuffed to a
I
death.
don't
It was
believe
to
he
a
was
death.
truly broke.
Listen, what else are you going to do with a runner?
Right. I growing up. I don't know if you know this story. You probably I've told you.
What's that?
Learning economics.
Oh yeah,
I had
because
this-
of 4-H.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
no.
well,
this,
but
this,
I mean, go ahead. Go
no.
ahead.
This. I had this lamb that I raised, and I called it Dimmy. I forget why, but anyhow, I had this lamb Dimmy.
Maybe it was after your mind.
Maybe it's what?
Named after your mind, Dimmy. Go ahead, though, Tom.
Asshole. Anyhow, I had this lamb. I wasn't that old. I showed it. It wasn't in 4-H yet, but I had this lamb. Took it to the Maryland State Fair, Timonium, with and showed it. And then then Dad said, "Oh, well, we got to get ready for the sale." I'm like, "What's, the sale?" Yeah. So that's when you take. I got it all prettied up and walked it around, and people were bidding on it, which and then at the end when they say sold, some guy comes in, takes Dimmy away from me, and I start crying, and Mom and Dad come up to me, and this is when you learn parents will bullshit you. Okay.
Oh, now go on. Now
I guarantee
go
you
on
didn't
there,
learn it then,
Tom.
but keep going.
Oh, don't worry. He's going to another. He's going to go. They're going to raise him on another farm. It's going to be, this, that, and the third, and he's going to be just fine.
Or a little larger lamb chop, maybe.
No. I actually see them loading him up on. He's going up, onto a truck, and on the side of the truck says SK Meats. Now I might have been little, but
Dimmy was going to a good home.
Right,
Short
so I'm
lived,
balling
but a
like
good
a baby
home,
because
none
I
of
was a baby, I'm balling. Because now you can't bullshit me. Now I know Dimmy's going to be, he's going to
Well, see, Tom, now that's the difference.
Do you know Dad still won't eat lamb?
Oh, boy. Well, let me say this. Now, Tom, you were talking about the kids of this generation.
Yeah.
What do you think Mom and Dad were thinking? This son of ours can't take Dimmy going away? I mean, we've been doing this for years, Ralph. We've been living on the farm and raising cattle and livestock. And
at that point, you're like a 7th generation farmer, but sure. Yeah, but this one.
I don't
we
know
got-
it.
and then you
this
were
one
crushed
right.
over Dimmy.
I was until, and I was crushed, and I was, but this is where it's like, boo, the light comes on. Like 2 weeks later, I get this.
See, the light come on.
Right. Well,
Dimmy's no more.
Dimmy's no
Because the
more.
light came on.
Dimmy's renamed.
Are you going to live?
No, Tom, go right ahead.
So anyhow, about 2 weeks later, Mom says, "Here, this is for you," and she hands me this envelope. Okay. So I open up this envelope, and here was a check from SK Meats to me for the sale of buying Dimmy. And then it clicked. Ha!
Now you wanted 6 Dimmys to cry over.
Yeah, at that point in time, now I get it.
Now you're getting it, yeah.
This is how the world works.
So,
Make
He still
money.
doesn't eat Dimmy.
well,
That's true.
Bring in
I'll
some
tell you
more
what,
Dimmys.
I don't know if you remember that steer I had, named him Peanuts. He was a little small in the beginning. Well, he never really grew out of it. And Peanut, he was the best steer I ever had. He was the calmest. He was the most tame. You could ride Peanut. All right, this steer, you could ride it. However, Peanut didn't have quite the body, okay, because that's what they're looking for in shows.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so he was a little smaller than, and he got
Did
he got cut from the sale. He didn't
I
make
know what
it.
happened to Peanut.
Oh.
And
I
so
didn't know
we,
that was possible. Did he end up on your table?
yes. Well, here's the deal. Now, at Frederick Fair, that was the last show that our family
last
did
season,
of
yeah.
the show season.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, to make the sale was great because then you could make some money,
Yeah,
pay
you
off your
could.
bills, have some money, and we had to keep what was called record books
Oh.
Yeah.
for 4-H about
still do.
the expenses for the feed, for the vet bills,
Everything.
for everything, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
and you learned that. And then at the end of the year, if you were lucky enough to sell your steer, okay, you'd sell your steer, and then you'd say what
I know what you're
pay
saying.
off all the
Peanut
bills
was
and what
a
the
deficit.
profit was. Peanut didn't make the sale. Well,
Deficit.
so given that Frederick Fair is the last show of the season, we would pack up and we would come home either Friday. we pack up mainly Friday nights and come home.
Seemed that way after the sale.
Yeah, after the sale. Might have been a couple years where we went back on a Saturday morning, but that wasn't. It was mainly we'd come home on a Friday night. So guess what? Had the sale on Friday. Friday night we pack up all our show stuff and everything gets packed up and we come home. And I remember Uncle Vernon was with us, Tim was with us.
Well, usually, yeah.
Several other people were there. And by Jiminy, I mean, we got home, it's probably 8 o'clock.
You forgot Peanut.
No. Peanut wasn't even there because he had gotten cut.
Yeah, but what, we had to bring him home?
Peanut had come home. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we brought him home.
No.
And
No.
I don't remember. Yeah?
Yeah, Peanut didn't make the sale. So he
Yeah, I
came
know
home
that.
before that. He didn't stay
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah. Well, we come home and guess what we're eating?
Peanut.
Yeah.
I bet
We
it
had
was good.
steaks and all like that. Oh, it was a big time. And then, I was eating old Peanut.
Old Peanut.
Well, I tell you what, he tasted pretty damn good.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, but there again,
You learn.
you learn.
Yes. Young kids, you learn that's kind of the way of the world. And
You still don't eat.
Peanut was damn good.
You don't eat lamb now, huh?
That's
No.
true. That is true.
No.
It's not because of Dimmy.
Well, why is it then, Tom?
It's...
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Don't believe all the
It's
shit you
absolutely
hear.
Demi.
Tom.
Dimmy might be...
Take him with a grain of salt.
Dimmy might play a little factor in my not liking to eat lamb. It's also...
Well, you teared up when you were telling us about
Yeah,
it.
you did. I thought
What
I.
in the world?
Now we're in that. Here comes
Go
the
ahead.
bullshit.
I'm sorry to
Dad's-
interrupt you, Tom.
Dad's first night where he was introduced to moms to give him pop,
Mm-hmm.
they made lamb. And
When we went to their house for dinner, her father made this lamb.
Yeah.
And he had mint jelly and all this.
Oh, I bet it was delicious. You didn't know.
Oh, I knew.
He could tell. He could hear Demi bad in the background.
as he choked it down.
I tried to ask you what you want for dessert and start to cry. Good God, Tom, I swear.
I swear to God. No, I ate it. I forced it
Enough to
down.
be respectful.
Yeah. That was the first meal I ever had at Jean's house was lamb.
Was lamb. All right. Well,
They're a lamb loving group.
They
You
are.
really didn't screen that family appropriately. I'll tell you.
No, I didn't.
well,
That's like, never mind. I'm not even going there.
all right.
We'll let that.
Probably best.
Let
Whatever-
that one
whatever
pass.
shit you
Haven't
let that
taken the
one
bridge over that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
What
tell
else you got?
Listen, I appreciate your editing. That filter isn't really there, so when you do, it's like,
Oh, like noted. Thanks, Dad.
But I guess we're about ready to wrap this one up.
Yeah. Okay.
But the things
Yeah.
we learned and lived through, and we could tell a million stories of things we did.
yeah.
on
Like the
farm.
next time I want to hear about, how you got your scar.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah. Next podcast.
Well, whatever. You guys
We
come
can
up-
call that the misadventures on the farm.
That's a great.
Well, now,
Title?
hold on. That scar didn't come from the farm.
One of them did. Yeah.
Oh, one of them. Yeah, I got a scar from Battleground. First one I ever got.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, mine
That was
was.
down on Broken Coke Bottle. That was-
Mine Mine was about a burglar trap I made that actually.
Oh, yeah.
That actually.
I was
worked.
down in what, that little
That little-
smokehouse kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell this one real quick and then we'll go. I was gonna sleep out and then we had this little house.
Oh, this story deserves so much more than just a real quick and go.
Well, we can get into
Yeah,
it and
that's
get into
fine.
it later. Go ahead,
But
Tom.
anyhow, I made this trap. I knew my older brother Ralph. He was gonna come piss with me because Ralph, that was his job, pretty much, to just irritate the shit out of us.
He did a fine job at it.
And so I made this. If I was gonna sleep out in this house, made this trap that if he came through the window, had this railroad spike hooked up that would come loose and bam, and hit him. So while I'm in there working, Ralph rides up on his bike, looks at me, I'm in the, maybe from me to the camera, and he throws a water balloon in, smashes me. I get pissed off. He takes off. I jump through the window at him. My trap worked. That spike come down and hit me dead center in the head, and I don't know if it knocked me out.
That was probably your first concussion.
But yeah, probably. And it definitely split my head open and had to go get.
I mean, you have a dent in your skull.
I have to go get stitches. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably one of the first stitches I got in my head because of Ralph. Not the last because of Ralph.
Wait.
But those
You're not
first.
taking any ownership of that? You're not going to be like, I built it and...
It worked.
Oh, it worked. Yeah. It worked.
Okay.
You made the trap. You knew what it was going to do, and then you didn't follow the fail.
If nothing else, I want my fans to know that I am a successful trap maker. And with that, we will bid adieu.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's just why he doesn't work in explosives today. So.
Goodbye.
Okay. That was awesome.